Topic 1. The harms of backbiting and ways to avoid it. Backbiting is a sin of the tongue that we often don't even consider a sin. Backbiting is when you say something about someone that if it were told to the person in front of you, and remember, even if that thing is true. You say about a friend, she is very angry, and it hurts her. Oh, you who believe, avoid much suspicion, for some suspicion is a sin, and do not backbite, nor backbite. Would any of you like to eat the flesh of his dead brother, and you dislike that? Fear Allah. Indeed, Allah is oft returning, most merciful, and what a painful example. There can be no worse scene in Islam. Someone eats the flesh of his dead brother. Such a heart becomes empty of light, weakening of relationships, loss of relationships, often the distances that arise in homes, families, and friends. Loss of good deeds. Easy ways to avoid backbiting. Said, when I was taken to the Miraj, I passed by people whose nails were made of copper and they were scratching their faces and chests with them. Difference between backbiting and accusation. On what occasions is backbiting permissible? Now let's move on to today's second beautiful topic, which seems very simple, but its benefits are amazing in both this world and the hereafter. And that is the amazing benefits of sleeping with ablution at night. Hadith it is narrated from Abu Hurairah. May Allah be pleased with him, that the Messenger of Allah, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, said, whoever spends the night in a state of ablution, an angel spends the night in his bedclothes. Whenever that servant wakes up at any time of the night, that angel says, O Allah, forgive so-and-so your servant, because he spent the night in a state of ablution. Silsila, Hadith Sahih, just imagine, you're sleeping, unaware, and an angel is praying for us all night. O Allah, forgive him, show mercy on him. What a great blessing this is. Spiritual peace ablution has a strange spiritual power. When you wash your face with water, not only does your face become clean, your heart also becomes light. When you wash your hands, it feels as if the fatigue, anger, and sorrow of the whole day are flowing away. And when a person sleeps with this purity, his sleep also becomes peaceful, and a unique peace descends in the heart, as if Allah's mercy has covered you. Science also says that washing your face and hands before going to bed puts the brain into relax mode. According to experts, this method reduces mental stress, gets you to sleep quickly, normalizes the heartbeat, and calms the mind. That is, ablution is not just worship, but also a natural therapy. Sleeping with ablution and better sleep. Scientific explanation. Water therapy and nervous system. According to science, washing the face, hands, and feet with cold water activates the parasympathetic nervous system. This is the system that reduces heart rate, reduces mental stress, puts the body into sleep mode. Scientific concept. Cold, normal temperature water gives nervous system calming, gives better sleep readiness. This is why washing your face before sleeping, washing your hands and feet, most sleep experts also recommend. Ablution is a complete body calming process. Reducing stress hormone cortisol. Science says, anger, worry, and overthinking increase cortisol stress hormone. More cortisol equals poor sleep. In ablution, water contact, a few minutes of silence, repetitive actions. All of these cortisol is naturally reduced because, after ablution, a person feels lighter and calm, mindfulness, and psychological reset. In modern psychology, there is a concept, mindfulness rituals. That is, a specific routine before going to bed in which a person consciously cuts off from the day. Ablution, a mindfulness ritual. A person comes out of the thoughts of the day and returns to the present moment. This is why prayer, ablution, prayers reduce anxiety. Clean skin gives comfortable sleep. According to dermatology and sleep science, clean face before going to bed, clean hands and feet, improves thermal comfort. The body gets a signal. Now it is time to rest. That's why doctors also say, wash your face before sleeping. Ablution is a more complete version of this. Emotional relief equals better sleep. This is clear in psychology. A person who sleeps with guilt, anger, or tension has a shallow sleep. In ablution, a person feels spiritually clean. The heart is satisfied. Subconscious guilt is reduced. Result: deep plus peaceful sleep. Continuous reward of worship, making sleep an act of worship and the most special thing. When you sleep with purity, Your sleep is also considered an act of worship. Yes, indeed, the peace of the whole night. The moment of sleep? Everything is recorded as a reward. It is the grace of Allah that He bestows great mercy on even the smallest sunnah. If we take a few moments before going to bed and perform ablution, not only does our night become beautiful, but our soul, our heart, and our destiny are also illuminated. Now let's move on to the third and final topic of today. The wise are those who remember death. The one among us who remembers death is actually improving his life. Remembering death brings about some beautiful changes within a person. The heart softens, deeds become righteous, love for the world decreases, and life's priorities change. Allah Almighty says,
كل نفس ذائقة الموت ثم إلينا ترجعون.
Meaning every soul will taste death, then to us you will all be returned. In this verse, Allah Almighty states that every soul has to taste death, meaning that death is an inevitable reality. And again, to us will be returned means that man will be brought to account for his deeds. This verse reminds us that human death is a certain reality. It cannot be avoided, nor can it be averted, so life should be viewed from this perspective. Hadith. Remember much the destroyer of pleasures here? The destroyer of pleasures refers to death. Books where it is narrated. Sunan al-Tirmidhi Hadith, number 2307. Sunan Ibn Majah Hadith number 4258. Mesnad Ahmad. Hadith number 7925, or 7741 in some copies. Sahih Ibn Hibban. There is a narration of this hadith. Archive of Islam. Hadith Great Sheikh al-Tirmidhi said, Hazan Garib, i.e. a good hadith, but rarely heard. It is declared authentic in Ibn Baz's Hashia Balo al-Maram Hadith. Those who remember death the most and prepare for what comes after it are the wise. Narrator. This hadith was narrated from Ibn Umar, may Allah be pleased with him. Book. Ibn Majah's Sunan Hadith No. 4259. Hadith status. Some hadith scholars, for example, Al-Albani, declared it as Hasan. Explanation. Thus, his hadith states that the believer who remembers death the most and prepares for the hereafter is the wise one. That is, both remembering death and preparing for the hereafter are signs of wisdom. 5 clear benefits of remembering death. The heart becomes soft is when a person thinks that one day he has to stand before Allah. Then the hardness of the heart automatically starts breaking. Pride, anger, ego, all this starts decreasing. A person becomes humble, becomes forgiving, and this gentleness brings us closer to heaven. Deeds start becoming correct. The idea of death forces a person to take account of every deed he does. Then he thinks, am I doing this action for Allah or to show people? This thought purifies the actions, purifies the intention. It makes every step of a person straight towards the hereafter. Love of the world decreases. The things of the world seem good. But when a person remembers death, he realizes that all these things are temporary. Money, things, fame, all of these will be left behind in an instant. Then a person's priorities change. The world seems less important, and the hereafter seems more important. The concept of the grave and the hereafter remains alive. The mention of death keeps the hereafter alive in the heart. Then a person understands the reality of the grave, feels the questions of the hereafter, and tries to live his life with the intention that tomorrow there will be light in the grave too. And the path to the path will also be easy. Peace, order, and right priorities in life. He who remembers death, a strange peace comes into his life. He is not worried about small things. He is not burdened by the words of people. He takes because he knows. The real destination is somewhere else. Such people are more organized, stronger, and more peaceful. Those of us who remember death are actually improving our lives. Remembering death brings about some beautiful changes within a person. The heart softens. Actions become correct. Love for the world decreases, and life priorities change. And when this truth settles in the heart, then a person not only changes his feelings but also begins to see life from a new perspective. This is the moment where the Quran reminds us of a very big truth. Allah Almighty says, that is, every soul must taste death. Then you will all be returned to us. Remembering death does not mean that the heart is always afraid. Rather, it means that we take stock of our deeds. Spend a little time every day thinking about the resurrection and the grave, checking our intentions and doing what we have the power to do today. Before going to bed at night, think for a minute. If I were to be held accountable today, what would I say? Make a short list of your actions every week. Which relationships need improvement? Which sins need to be avoided? Remember, the wise are those who remember death, examine themselves, and do today what will benefit them tomorrow. When we remember death, our lives, our relationships, and our intentions, all three will improve. And now, finally, these were the 3 golden pieces of advice that changed lives: remembering death, the harms of backbiting, sleeping with wudu. May Allah grant us the ability to act on them. Ameen. And we will meet in the next video. Yazuk Allah khair.